may move into executive session to consider and evaluate personal information relating to individuals applying for licensure in accordance with Section 92-5A1 Hawaii Revised Statutes, and/or to consult with the Commission's attorney on questions and issues pertaining to the Commission's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities in accordance with Section 92-5A4 Hawaii Revised Statute. I'm sorry, I'm a creature of habit. Although I can see everybody's lovely smiling faces, I do like to call roll, so it makes it easier for the secretary to take his notes. So I'm going to start off with Commissioner Abe.
Here.
Commissioner Andrews.
Here.
Commissioner Emery.
Here.
Commissioner Goodell.
Here.
Commissioner Kyono.
Here.
Commissioner Acosta.
Here.
Commissioner Love.
Here.
And Commissioner Center.
Here.
Wow, good to see everybody today. We usually have somebody out, but I'm glad everybody's here. Time now is 9:08. We have quorum. The public was noticed, and I call this meeting to order. First off, on the chair's report, I know you're all looking in the audience. We have a lot of people there, and I'm sure you're all very busy people. But thank you for coming, because we also have a lot to celebrate today. We have a new Deputy Attorney General who's going to be with us. So welcome her. I hope all of you had a great Father's Day for all you fathers. Make sure you tell your father how much you care for them and love them. You know, I just lost mine yesterday, but anyway, that's besides the point. We're here today, basically, like what I mentioned at the last meeting when John wasn't here, but Russell was, but I have to tell these two gentlemen that you see, two commissioners with the leads, I have a lot to say. Thank them. So I'm going to actually let staff say some kind words first, and then let some of the fellow commissioners also say something before I do, because if not, we'll be here till the afternoon. So I'm going to let Neil to say something to both of you on the behalf of the real estate branches staff.
Yeah, so John and Russell, we have certificates for the both of you from the division. Thank you for your many years of service. You guys have been great, and maybe it's a celebration because you guys are leaving us. I don't know, but we'll be sad, so it's not going to be a celebration. And you know, John, you've helped lead us through a lot of difficult, complex issues, and we all know how busy you are with your law practice. And like Chairperson Yamane likes to remind us that even though we don't need to remind that you're the smartest guy in the room. And so you prove it to us all the time on a monthly basis. So this is from us to you. So thank you for all your
Thank you.
Thank you for all your years of
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have to take a picture, Neil. You. Yeah.
You guys are gonna make me cry.
1, 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is for Russell. Russell, and like I've always said, you know, the people from Kauai, they're the nicest people in the state. And Russell is our Kauai commissioner. He flies in every month. He puts in a lot of time, and he's a man of few words, but we all enjoy when he's around and when, you know, he's speaking. And, you know, he's one of the good old local boys that, you know, helps out, wants to help out. And he's always been good to staff. So Russell, we're really gonna miss you. So thank you. Thank you for your time and service.
Thank you.
as mentioned, I know our commissioners that are sitting around the table cannot help themselves, so I know a few of you had asked that if you want to say something, now's the perfect time, so in no particular order, but
Well, I'd like to say that, it's not just an honor and a privilege to be at the table with everybody here, but it's just like how Derek said, it's always nicer to be in a room for those that are smarter than you, right? And oftentimes, I don't like being told I'm not the smartest, but in this room, I'm okay with that. But it's just been nice to be able to meet with you, not just on a professional level, but a personal level, so you will be dearly missed, but hopefully not missed outside of this room. We can see each other. We ran into each other just coincidentally yesterday, so yeah. Thank you.
The things that I have learned sitting in this chair, I've been practicing for 34 years. And every time Russell speaks, he's like T.R. Price. When they speak, you listen. And I appreciate all of the in-depth conversations that we have had. And John, I concur about being the smartest person in the room. This gentleman has legal knowledge that is amazing. I went to law school. I'm not enough to practice, but just enough to be dangerous. And I have learned so much from you, and it's been a pleasure serving with you. Thank you, and thank you to all the staff, too. While we're talking about thank yous, you make everything so much easier.
I guess I have to say something, this special moment. Firstly, Russell, it's just been so great working with him, and very insightful, very wise, and we're both from Kauai too. Our roots are there anyway, and he still lives there. I don't, but we just had a common bond, and it's something cultural, I guess, too. So I really appreciate you. I'm going to miss you a lot. And John, just so impressed with your knowledge for sure. And you know what amazes me is you're very calm, even when disagreements are going on, and you'll put your opinions out and your legal background, and it's wonderful to work with somebody like you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say that, this is an unpaid volunteer job. It shows your commitment to the community and the people of Hawaii with regard to your professional knowledge and experience and commitment to come to these meetings every month and other meetings as necessary. And it's greatly appreciated. It's just somewhat sad that you're retiring or leaving us before they double our pay this Totally joking, but no, I want you to know I appreciate your counsel on all of these meetings, and really have enjoyed working with you, and it's a great testament to you for giving this commitment to our community.
you don't have to, I don't.
No,
force
I
you,
can.
but-
I mean, I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two are gems to have on the commission, honestly. Bringing your strengths to this commission really balances this commission out. I'm going to miss my legal colleague here. I've known John for many, many years. Definitely high integrity, very intelligent, and always sees both sides. So I'm going to miss your balance. As for you, Russell, I have roots in Kauai too. Kauai are definitely the nicest people. That's your heart. I mean, Russ, you always bring the heart to the conversation, and we're really gonna miss that. Yeah. Good luck to you both.
Yeah, thank you. So, wait, now I have to make sure I didn't bring my Kleenex, so I don't want to cry in front of you folks. But as I thought about it, I thought, man, what can I say besides thank you? Because really, I do want to tell both of you, thank you for all that you've done. We make reference to John being so intelligent, and just to give all of you a perspective, okay, just listen carefully. These two gentlemen have given 252,288,000 seconds. How Richard said dedicated, yes, this is they're both unselfish people, but they've given so much of their lives to the people of Hawaii. Basically, they're serving on this group here to help the whole state, whether it be Kauai, Maui, Big Island, Oahu, but they both are giving of themselves. And they do it without complaining. Even if the plane is late, Russell never complains. Even if John has a hearing date where he's gonna lose the case, he never loses. He's not gonna complain. I mean, they're always here with a big smile on their face. And for those of you that don't know, to have this table in front of me with these individuals, it's not an easy task. They are all very different people, which is what makes us unique and I think very good. But like you heard earlier, these two gentlemen offer us good balance. I make joke because I sent my application to Yale and it got returned. And he said, Mr. Yamane, I think you made a mistake, but someone like him, that's where he goes. He gets good grades. He does very well. So when we have difficulties here, very calmly, he always tells us, well, did you consider this or did you consider this? And it really offers a good balance. So from an intellectual standpoint, thank you, John, for all your knowledge, wisdom. And then on the practical side, we have Russell here, who always then brings in the practical, everyday application side, and that balances us very well. So with the two of you, you offer us a lot. So even when these ladies are arguing, you two gentlemen know how to calm them. No, I didn't point to her. But she knows what I mean. But yeah, you folks both dedicated, unselfish, you've given a lot. And I cannot thank you enough. You're going to be very missed. We tried our best. We tried to make these beautiful plaques that you can hang up on your wall and in your office. But we are going to miss you. But we just want to say we appreciate all that you've done. And this was for you, John. Yeah, so there you go. Take up. Get a plaque, and I think we asked some lovely ladies to give you some additional flowers. So, Mr. Kyono, this one's for you. A little bit nicer than Sean's one. But thank you very much for all your service. Thank you.
And I need one from each. And take yours first.
Can I miss me, yeah?
Yeah, she will miss you.
One more time. Thank you.
And in those times, you didn't even think about the flight times, huh?
No, I didn't. That was too, my brain's not that
It was
perfect.
another 20 million seconds.
But really, you two gentlemen will be greatly missed. We appreciate all that you've done, and I'm speaking for everyone here, staff as well, and I'm sure the public. But thank you very much. I wish we could do more for you, but no. Lays, plaques, certificates, smiles, all around good things. There are some donuts and things over there. Thank you very much. Okay, on the agenda, item number 3, Executive Officers Report. Miles?
The commission shall afford all interested persons an opportunity to submit data, views, or arguments in writing on an agenda item, and shall provide all interested parties an opportunity to present oral testimony on any agenda item, subject to the conditions set forth in Section 16-99-83 of our administrative rules. The commission may remove any person or persons who willfully disrupt the meeting, prevent and compromise the conduct of the meeting in accordance with Section 92-3 Hawaii Revised Statutes. On agenda item 3B, which is the minutes of the previous meeting on May 29, 2026, there's also a distribution of the executive session minutes. So If you could just make sure that you have the executive session minutes. So should I need a motion on that?
So you've all had an opportunity to review the minutes as well as our digital distribution and the executive session minutes. Anyone have any questions, concerns, changes that need to be made? If not, do you need a motion, please?
Move to approve minutes of regular meeting and executive session.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Costa, seconded by Commissioner Kyono to approve the minutes, the additional distribution, and the executive session minutes. Commissioners, all those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Please pass your executive minutes on to the minutes. We're now at agenda item number 4, committees and programs of work. 4A, laws and rules review committee. 4A1. This is a program of work, fiscal year 2027. It's a Commissioner's Education Program used from Office of Information Practices, OIP, testimony guidance for boards subject to the Sunshine Law. This is a FYI for you commissioners. No motion is necessary, but I hope you had an opportunity to read it, review it. It provides you guidance. Anyone have any comments, any discussion? No, not seeing or hearing any. We will move right along. Item B, Education Review Committee, B1, continuing education administration curriculum courses, providers, and instructors. 4B1A, administrative issues, continuing education providers and courses, ratification list. In front of you, you should have one provider and one course. Needs a motion for approval. Anyone have any questions or concerns on that one provider and one course?
Motion to approve the continuing education providers courses and ratification list as of June 26, 2026.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Acosta to approve the Education Review Committee list dated June 26, 2026. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much. Agenda B1B, continuing education core course. The final you have in front of you, this is for Core B, 2025-2026. The title, Get Real, Manage, Mismanage. The developer is Everett Kaneshige, who I believe I saw in the audience and is asking to testify. So, Mr. Kaneshige, if you don't mind. Maybe you're here just to answer questions. I don't. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So just to answer questions. So, Commissioners, you've had an opportunity to review the final. This is the final course in front of you. The changes that you requested have all been made. Anyone have any questions, concerns, anything you saw that needs to be corrected? If not, I do need a motion to approve the final course. Or if you have any questions, I'm sorry, if you have any questions for Mr. Kaneshige, he is sitting there and would be happy to answer your questions. No questions?
I move to approve the 2026 Hawaii Core Course B, Get Real, Manage, Mismanage.
It's been moved by Commissioner Emery, seconded by Commissioner Abe to approve the 2026 Hawaii Core Course Part B, Get Real, Manage, Mismanage. Commissioners, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Kaneshige.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff.
Next is B1C. We have a course in front of you entitled Policy, Power, and Property, Understanding Hawaii's Governance. The author-owner is Joe Fukumoto and Perry, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Smith. Yeah, the provider is Poha School of Real Estate, course category, real estate law, real estate policy, clock hours 3. I don't see them on the agenda. Commissioners, any questions, concerns on this course? Policy, Power, and Property, Understanding Hawaii's Governance. If not, could I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the application for continuing education elective course, Policy, Power, and Property, Understanding Hawaii's Governance by Poha School of Real Estate.
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Emery to approve the application for the course Policy, Power, and Property, Understanding Hawaii's Governance. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is B1D. We have in front of you the Instructors Development Workshop, IDW, Real Estate Educators Association 2026, IDW options for the 2027-2028 biennium. You have a memo provided by Specialist Kekoa. Do you folks have any questions for Kristen? We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I move to approve as an option to fulfill the Hawaii Instructors IDW requirements, the REA IDW courses.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Emery, seconded by Commissioner Costa, to provide this as an option to fulfill the requirement for Hawaii instructors. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much. Now you have agenda item 4B2, pre-licensing education administration, curriculum, schools, and instructors. 4B2A, administrative issues, pre-licensing education, schools, and instructors ratification list. You should have a list in front of you with an instructor, one instructor dated June 26th.
May 26th, Chair.
The effective date,
Oh,
the
effective.
date of the.
Oh, sorry, my
Yeah, yeah.
apologies.
No problem. It's okay. Your eyes is better than mine. I'm just guessing. I was just trying to remember today's date.
I wear glasses because I'm blind.
Commissioners, anyone have any questions on this instructor?
Motion to approve the pre-licensing education list and instructors ratification list as of June 2026.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Andrews and seconded by Commissioner Emery to approve the Education Review Committee list dated June 26, 2026. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much. Next is 4B2B, update and amend the Hawaii Real Estate Brokers pre-license curriculum. So in front of you, you have the final. Commissioners, you made comments, you interjected concerns, so those have all been corrected. And now in front of you, you have the final version. We've all had an opportunity to look at it. Anyone have any questions, concerns? Did they miss anything else since the last draft? If not, would our two departing members like to make motions to get your names on the minutes for the last time? Just joking.
Move to approve.
Second. It's been moved by Commissioner Love and seconded by Commissioner Kyono to approve the Hawaii Real Estate Commission Brokers Pre-Licensing Curriculum dated June 2026. Final version. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. Next item on the agenda, we are now at 4B3, Administration of Examinations. 4B3A, PSI ARDA Hawaii requests Administration of the Real Estate Salesperson's Examination in the Japanese Language. I have a note here that many of you on this list are here to testify. I don't know if there's any particular order we need to follow. But whoever in the audience would like to be first up, I think I recognize him.
Chair Yamane, Vice Chair, Center, members of the Commission. Manaka. I'm appearing here today as the Chair of ARDA Hawaii, which is the local chapter of the National Timeshare Trade Group. With me today are several people from the organization and also from Hilton Grand Vacations. If I could take just a moment, we have Linda Rodriguez, who's a senior officer within the company here, and they are all from Hawaii. We have David Watanabe in the back, who's a principal broker for Hilton Grand Vacations, as well as Adachi-san from Hilton as well, and one of my law partners, Michael Iosua. So the first thing is, having served as a commissioner 30 years ago, I know how much work it can be, and I want to congratulate Commissioners Love and Kono for their service, and thank you for your service. We have submitted written materials, and hopefully you had a chance to look through those. Basically, here to answer questions. And it's been a couple of years now since this is before the commission, and we're hopeful that we can get approval in order to administer the exam in the language. The timeshare industry in Hawaii comprises about 15% of Hawaii's visitor mix in terms of the number of units. It employs about 7,000 people throughout the state of Hawaii, deeply involved in the community, 90% occupancy year-round, there's no seasonality. So there are a lot of people out here that depend on this industry for their livelihood. We're bringing this to the commission because we feel that with this one tweak to the requirements, we can have a lot more people out there as ambassadors, essentially from Hawaii to Japan, to bring our Japanese visitors back. We feel that that is an important policy issue for the state of Hawaii. The legislature is supportive of this. The governor and his team are supportive. We're hoping that the commission can please consider this and permit this to occur. So if there are questions, I'm here to answer any of those, and perhaps the team can also chime in as needed.
Commissioner Acosta?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Imanaka. Nice to see you. What is the percentage of Japanese owners of timeshare units presently?
That's a good question. I think maybe you have Linda.
Could you please come to the chair? Thank you.
Hilton Grand Vacations, it represents about 10% of our owner base. So, and we have approximately 75,000 members.
And how many folks do you have currently working that can deal with the Japanese language and can communicate?
We have approximately 40 licensed real estate agents that speak Japanese.
What is your deficiency that you feel that there's a need for this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for the question. It is the experience of the industry that, for whatever reason, the passage rate is very low for people who are not proficient in the English language. So as an example, my understanding, having surveyed Marriott, Hilton, Wyndham, and Disney, who are all involved in the industry now, people will take the test on average as many as 13 times to pass. The feeling is that if they're provided the opportunity to take the test in their native tongue, which in this case we're asking Japanese, that rate will increase. Passage rate, the number of times they have to take the test will go down on average to about 2 or 3 times. So that, and some people don't even bother to take the test because they don't feel confident that they're going to pass the test. This is even with having taken all of the steps necessary, as you all know, to be able to take the test in the first place. And David Watanabe here, maybe he can speak a little bit to that, but as a principal broker, that's why we're looking for the opportunity to bring more people in. They all have to understand English in order to get through the program to even take the test. But it's when that you come to that test part that's been a hurdle. So, David?
Yeah, so I'm actually the broker in charge for Hilton Grand Vacations, but I used to be the Senior Director of Sales for the international team, in which Yasu Adachi is the Vice President of the international team as we speak. So, as you are all are aware, we're building a new tower in Waikiki called Kahaku, right behind the Hyatt. We have new towers coming up in Maui. We have plans to build more towers in Waiparoa. And the need for the Japanese people will be growing exponentially over the years. And hopefully, COVID, everything happened, and we're not nearly as close as we were back in 2019. But we're hopefully, we're wishful that the Japanese market will rebound soon. But in preparation of that, it takes a long time for Japanese-speaking people to get their test or get their license, to be trained up in Japanese. We have a training team that actually does that for Hilton Grand Vacations. We're trying to be very proactive in getting Japanese-speaking licensed salespeople within our company and within the industry.
I have a follow-up question to that. You say you have 40 licensees right now under your brokerage. What are you saying that you need? How many licensed agents do you need that you're saying that this is an issue.
Right. So depending on how the Japanese people are read on it, right? But I would say we would need, yes, what's in your budget?
10 per year, like 10.
At least 10 per year, but that's only for his line. You know, there's growth in Marriott, there's growth in Disney, there's growth in Wyndham. So we're just trying to be kind of pioneers in the timeshare industry in general to get the Japanese market back to where it was, or even beyond 2019.
Can I just get clarification? You need 10 more agents per year? Is that what, on top of the 40, or just?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I just.
How many more was that again? Sorry, Mr.
10 more salespeople per year.
Just for Hilton?
Just for Hilton.
It doesn't.
But this is, sorry, just to clarify, you're stating that moving forward infinitely, you expect 10 agents per year to join your brokerage.
There's also, we also have attrition. So, you know, as people leave, we do also need to backfill people that are Japanese speaking as well.
And what is your attrition rate?
What is your attrition rate?
That's about between 7 to 10% every year. But we have a group retiring pretty soon because they've been in the industry for 20, 30 years.
I have a question. How many transactions do you have where there's a more English, there's an English speaking, but they may know some Japanese, but they're licensed? Now, how many of the Japanese buyers use a translator? And how many translators are available for them just to transfer in dealing with the licensed agent or broker?
Are you talking about after they purchase, what the process is?
Mhm.
Gina, do you want to?
From A to Z, you know, like contract, offer, and into escrow.
Okay.
Do you have translators for that?
We don't have translators, we have people that actually speak it. So we have quality assurance managers that actually, after the sale is procured, the sales agent would escort get the new owner to the deeding area.
Mhm.
And there's a Japanese-speaking quality assurance manager that speaks Japanese themselves, doing the paperwork in front of the guest and the salesperson. I hope that answered your question.
Are the Japanese buyers comfortable with these translators? And are a lot of these transactions closed that way?
Yes. They're native Japanese speaking. And we also have a translation of the English document right on the side. So if they don't understand something on the English one, we refer to the Japanese translation.
So again, for clarification, so those people are translators that assure them, but they're not licensed salespeople?
Correct. They're quality assurance managers, so they're...
So far, it's been working out well for you folks?
Yes. Yes. We've been doing that ever since we started in the Japanese market back in 2001.
How many qualified translators do you have right now?
We don't
Approximate.
have a translator, we have Japanese speaking staff.
Oh, I see.
For the region of Hawaii, 9.
We have 9 quality assurance managers that they're native Japanese speaking.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, and you mentioned, I'm hard of hearing, so I think you mentioned that you have people that are native Japanese speakers who will train them in all the, I guess, the intricacies of the...
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Have you considered perhaps that maybe we could team up those people with a pre-licensed instructor, so that if they didn't quite understand something in English, they would be able to help them out during the pre-license course? And perhaps maybe that might improve their performance on the exam?
You mean, like if somebody wasn't a Hilton employee yet, but they're still trying to get their license?
If Hilton had, say, 5 candidates that they wanted to take the exam, and they're taking the pre-license course, have one of your employees that are, teaching, are the trainers in that pre-license course to assist them in understanding the concepts that they may have a difficulty with, and maybe that might help their performance?
Possibly. However, the 60-hour course that the applicant needs to complete to get their license. I don't know if it's feasible for our staff to be in with them the entire time. However, maybe if there's a question after all their courses are completed, we could assist them. But we have one Japanese-speaking trainer at the moment here in Hawaii. We have many in Japan, but I don't know if we have the resources to do that at the time.
Hello.
Question.
Question. So, we talked about the business need, and but in terms of consumer protection,
Yes.
I know some of the written materials that were provided somewhat address, the question about this person understands the sales contract.
Yes.
So on one hand, one thing that's, I think, a little challenging is they can understand the sales contract, but then they can't take the test and pass the test. So how are we able to have assurances that they do understand the sales contract or any other written materials if they can't even pass the exam in English?
Well, the contract is translated.
Right, yes, but the contract that they sign is in English, right? And so we're just saying the person who's dealing with them, right? Can they understand the materials if there's questions on that? I have no doubt the training is excellent.
They have to understand it.
Yes, exactly. So if they can understand the contract, how come they're not able to pass the test?
That's a very good question. And, we don't know. There's some things that people come upon that, they train their whole life for. And then when you come to the moment when you have to take a test, the test is a barrier. And this is not, I'm just not saying this, this is played out in Florida as an example, where the language is not Japanese, it's Hispanic, it's Spanish. And they went through that same experience several years ago, and they transitioned to administering the test in the Spanish language, and they found that their pass rate went up for people who took the test in their native tongue. So for some reason, it has that impact. And we're not asking for a change in any of the procedures or how one gets to the point where they can take the test. They have to be proficient in English. But just taking the test, the idea that you have to take this test, it's a big deal, it's your livelihood, somehow that plays into the ability to pass the test for some reason. So I don't know if that makes sense. But.
Oh yeah, it makes sense that if you're taking a test in your native language, you would have a high pass rate. And so I think the challenge is that the documents are in English. There's a translation, but we're not approving that, right? We just have the test.
Right.
And so I think that's the thing we're trying to weigh, trying to understand, what the protections are to make this change. And we understand, what's proposed is the conditional license, and there'll be oversight, and it'll be limited to timeshare. But I think that's the challenge. That's the other tension, right? We're dealing with the consumer protection aspect of it.
Yes, yeah. And that's a fair question. And when you look at it, the procedures do not change. We're looking at the test. Historically, my understanding is that the number of complaints for this particular demographic have been very low. Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Okay. So I guess that's a good question. So the question is in terms of weighing, the policy, the fact that you have a low number of people with complaints as to their process, their experience in purchasing a timeshare interest, the ability to react quickly if there are complaints, and there's a process involved that we try to spell out in the written materials, and there are people that they can talk to, and the fact that they have staff that are proficient in handling these issues, are questions that we hope we address. So stepping back, from a policy standpoint, and we've been saying this now for a couple of years, is, we are very concerned about, from a policy standpoint, bringing the Japanese back to Hawaii, because they've proven to be very good visitors. They spend a lot of money. They're very respectful of our environment, of our people here. We've had now, looking back on this 2 years, we've had the closure of DFS, major employer, the closure of Neiman Marcus, which I believe, speaking with people, is a result of Japanese not coming here. So this is a very real thing, and all we're asking for is the ability to help Hawaii, honestly, come back economically, and certainly not lose any more ground. When Larry Bitterman was appointed as a director of this department, the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, the name was Department of Regulatory Agencies. The first thing she did when Governor Ariyoshi appointed her in 1982 was change the name of the department to Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. And I asked her, well, why did you do that? And she told me that it was because she wanted to make sure that there's perspective in the administration of the law. And so that's why she did it. And so our hope is that, in your deliberation, please consider, the needs of business in the community, as well as the role of protecting the public against fraudulent activity. And that's what we're asking for, and especially in this case where the number of complaints are very low in this particular demographic. So, anyway, thank you.
I believe Commissioner Center had a comment. One question.
First, thank you for coming. I applaud your foresight and strategic thinking in, looking forward at the markets and trying to see what can help as far as business for one of our larger markets, which is the Japanese tourist and timeshare purchasers. I think from my seat, echoing a little bit of what Commissioner Love said, this commission is a consumer protection regulatory agency. And two things come to my mind when I think about our role, what our commissioner hats on. One is, it's a slippery slope for us, if you can imagine yourselves in our seats, to address a request for a specific industry, because there's no specific timeshare license for one. It's just licensees across the board. And to address a need for a specific market of that license, and for a specific language, like Japanese. So I think there's some regulatory risk that is going through my head. Maybe it's my lawyer side thinking about this commission, and that's why so much thought is going into this. If it was maybe a far bigger program that we're looking at other languages to help all consumers, I think it's a different analysis and process for us. The other thing is, what has been the consumer harm with what is how the system works, or how the documents are, or the test is now? Has there been consumer harm?
Consumer harm in terms of?
Of not having the Japanese test, Japanese version of the test.
Right. So our recruiting needs are quite expansive. Prior to COVID, back in 2019, the Japanese market was at least 60 to 70% of our total net revenue here in Hawaii. I'm talking about Hawaii. But during COVID, post-COVID, things have drastically changed. However, we do think that the market will eventually return. and we're just trying to be proactive in trying to find the best people that can speak Japanese and that can sell to work in our industry. Not only Hilton, but the Marriotts and the Wyndhams and the Disneys. We, like Nate said, the average person that is native Japanese speaking but does speak English took the exam at least 13 times, right? And some people are, they hear from their friends, they took it 13 times, they heard that's super difficult, and people that may have wanted to take the test, they get scared and they get cold feet and they don't even try. So I think having the test in Japanese, it will definitely increase, I guess, the appetite for the Japanese speaker to try to take the exam more, and hopefully, lessen the amount of times that they do to take the test from 13 to hopefully 2 or 3. A little bit more realistic, right? So I'm not sure if I answered your question correctly, but that's the reason why we feel so passionate about this initiative.
Just a couple of things, like one of my clients, he is a marketing director for one of the big hotels, and he just went to Japan.
Okay.
And he just went a few months ago because, like you said, they're trying to stimulate more Japanese tourists, and their economy is kind of suffering too. So, but they've been going there, they have their own strategies, and so I understand that we want to stimulate that. But I agree with John that it is in English, it's a contract. We deal with contract law, which is so complex. And time sharing is under the HRS 514E, and also 467, our licensing, HRS 467. So these are complex laws, and every situation is a little different. And so that's my concern, because the consumer protection, how do they translate this, the contracts and addendums and negotiations into their client, if they're not proficient in English where they can even pass the exam. So maybe what they're doing now is to have a translator who's well-versed that can communicate with the realtor or the broker.
Yes.
Because this consumer protection is very complex for people, buyers, and you're dealing with a lot of money in Hawaii. So it's so important, and I hate to see more lawsuits, legal complaints, things like that, because people just misunderstanding what's in the contract. It already happens as it is, and I can't imagine with the language, barrier of the agent in translating it to their client. So that's kind of like where I sit on it.
I just want to make a clarification. So you have a sales agent that greets the guest in the sales gallery. They complete the presentation 100% in Japanese by a native Japanese speaker. And if the guest decides to become an owner, then the sales agent would hand off to the native speaking quality assurance manager to do all the paperwork for the sales executive. So the sales executive is not actually doing the paperwork and explaining the documents. It's the quality assurance manager. And the salesperson is sitting adjacent to the quality assurance manager during the deeding process. Just want to make that clarification.
Commissioner Emery, go ahead.
I have a little different take on this, but to me, the test in English is not a test of your knowledge of the English language. You're talking about technical material, about our licensing laws and things along that line. And by offering it in their native language, I think you end up with a better educated and more qualified licensee at the end of the day. The key is how we communicate this information between buyers and sellers to make sure everything is protected. But I see this based on where the Hawaii is going, what the legislature has said, and what DCCA has said, as a positive thing, that if we can find a way to maintain the consumer protection, but allow people taking the test to take in their native language, to me, gives you a higher assurance that they understand what the laws are versus a lower level of insurance. It's not where they guessed it right, that they really understand the practical side. So I support the idea of allowing testing in Japanese.
And I want to agree with
No, go ahead.
him, because it's just giving the exam in their language. Maybe we should open up to all the languages, I don't know, even Pidgin.
It may happen because the China market is expanding from what I understand. I mean, but
I mean, at the
shouldn't we
same-
be in a position to adjust to the world and how it changes, is my point.
Yeah, where does it end, though? What languages? You know, is it discrimination only for Japanese? But
That's why we should open them up to all.
Yeah.
Look at the driver's license. You can take your Hawaii driver's license in multiple languages.
But, you know, I have a couple of good friends. One's a broker, one's a sales agent. This is their second language, English. And they studied for the exam. They really worked hard at it. And they're very good realtors. One's successful broker and one's an agent. So they did it in the English way. And so it's important that they translate it to their client that way also, and that they can read the laws. So these are examples of people who came from foreign countries, you know, like maybe like 18 years old, and they had to relearn the language and improve on it. So I feel like it can be done, you know, with properly, like you're saying, maybe courses that can help them with it. Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Andrews, go ahead.
Yeah, I think overall, we need to go back to the issue at hand, which was brought up regarding consumer protection. I understand and I appreciate the need as far as trying to build the economy, but this is more of a strategic plan, as you stated, really more for business in my position, because I don't see an overwhelming need in the general public, and I think that's where the concern may lie, is that where is the tipping point? But I do have a question. You stated that the licensee is doing the sales presentation, whereas the unlicensed person, the staff person, is actually going over the contract, the sales contract. Just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
And the person is sitting right next to you.
Yes, but it's not the licensee who's actually having the conversation directly with the purchaser, correct? It's an unlicensed person who's having real estate conversations with the purchaser. I just want to clarify that.
Go ahead.
So the explanation of the documents adjacent to the licensed sales executive is a quality assurance matter.
I understand, but they're not licensed.
They're not licensed. No.
That's all I needed to know.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I think in some ways this testing helps remedy that question, because you're now going to have a licensed person who has that ability, right?
I think that was addressed, though, by Miles.
Yeah, well, anyway.
And I think sometime in the future, I think the legislature will need to address timeshare and real estate transactions, because you look at two separate, you know, because you get timeshare agents coming into the real estate market and hasn't done any sales in real estate.
Yeah, I agree. There's
So I think the legislature will need to.
conversation that could stem from this. Yeah.
I guess my new question is to the staff, if this were to be approved in some form, what would it take on your side to implement this?
Let me answer that. Let me ask a few questions, because all you intelligent people, I'm getting a little confused. So just let me say a few things. So, yeah, change is always tough. Yeah, I understand. Change is always rough. However, it is somewhat inevitable. So we have to keep an open mind and look at everything that's in front of us. All of you have excellent points. The thing about the 13 times, and I'm going to share a personal story. I know it's recorded, it may haunt me in the future. You may want to tone that down, because the story at my office is that the reason I could last for 35 plus years and do very well all those years is because when I had to ask the girls out to go to the prom, I had to ask 13 times before one person said yes. But see, when I went, it made me very happy. Because I wanted to do that. So, to me, if I failed or if I gave up on my second try, I would not be sitting in this seat today. I would not have been able to send my daughters to schools and all of that. So, I know it's a funny story. Everybody makes fun of me in that sense, but you know what? That grit that somebody has, I think says a lot sometimes. So if you tell me we're making this test easy so that they're only going to pass twice, excuse my language, but I could give a rat's ass. I want that person to really want that job and do a good job to the consumers that we're trying to protect. Okay? So that's just That's just an aside. But the other side, getting away from the personal thing and looking at it from a practical standpoint, yes, I would like to help the state. Every time I look around, I would like all of our people to make more money. The biggest concern I have is how come attorneys here, they get paid 3 times less than what people in New York or LA get paid, right? I don't have the answer. I mean, I have my theories, but do you folks that are testifying in front of us do you think, let me ask you this, that the yen to dollar difference in today's market, which is $1.62 as of today, the worst it's ever been for Japan, does that have any impact on what you are asking us to change? That's one question I have. You don't need to answer right now, but then the other thing is, from speaking in terms of what Richard asked, that's a very good question. I was on the education committee before. I know how the tests are prepared. A bunch of questions that get changed out. From a practical standpoint, believe it or not, it's not as simple as just translating the tests using AI. Staff has to go through a rigorous set of questions every summer, I believe it is, to renew questions for the following. And
Yeah.
Audrey's on the committee now. You can kind of help me. I forget how it's done. But they get all these questions. The ones that nobody passes, obviously, they have to toss out. The ones that is too easy, they also toss out. And there's this process that they have to go through with the vendor. So my understanding in asking staff how easy it is, it's not as easy as all of us around this table think it is. So I think from a practical standpoint, to move this thing forward, that is something that if there's any way we can get you folks to collaborate and to cooperate and figure out how can we make this work between staff and the exam, that's one thing I think we need to look at, because it is a real obstacle. It's not a made-up thing. Even if you do it 13 times, it's not going to go away because it's there. It's an obstacle. The other thing is that, like what Russell said, man of few words, but what he says is very important. Timeshares, real estate. Unfortunately, you need a license for both. Here, we're only focusing in on the timeshare portion, right? Is there a reason why we're doing that versus maybe?
That was my question. I mean, why is this not part of the broader initiative as opposed to just a timeshare when it's the same test? Whether you're selling Japanese a fee simple condo, a home, a timeshare, that's my question.
We would have no objection to having a special license. The fact of the matter is that in order to sell timeshare, because timeshare is considered real estate, that is why you fall under 467 and you need to have a real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
However, I want to go back, if I could, to the question of whether the test can be administered in Japanese. There's actually a statute in Hawaii that requires the government to reach out to people who speak other languages other than English. It requires an accommodation. So this is in Hawaii Revised Statutes. I pointed it out in the letter. And what the state is trying to say is, hey, we live in Hawaii. We have a lot of people speaking all kinds of languages. We, as the government, need to reach out to these people and make sure that they're on the same playing field. That's what this request is all about. The reason we're looking specifically at Japanese, however, and not everyone, and maybe the commission can say everyone, and I think ultimately that's a good idea. But for now, we're targeting the Japanese market because those are the people who we want to come back to spend money here to support their economy. That's why we're limiting it. And someone had asked the question, well, does the commission have that authority? And sure enough, we do, very specifically in chapter 436. So there's no question the commission has the authority. If you wanted to do this, you can issue a conditional license. And that's what the request is, to kind of bring it back to what the real question is here. There are people now who are buying from Japanese-speaking salespeople. It's happening. But what we're trying to do is get more of these people. And to your question, Chair, yes, I don't disagree with that. If you really want something, you'll take the test 100 times, okay? But do we really need to do that where the consumer harm is very low, without this test in Japanese, with Japanese-speaking sales agents? And you have the same question that Commissioner Andrews brought up is, what is the consumer protection for these people? And you have that in place now, and it's working because the complaints are very low. All we're asking for is the opportunity to get more of these people in the queue to help facilitate the success of these projects, but also to facilitate our reaching out to the community in Japan to say, hey, come back. I don't disagree that the yen to dollar ratio has something to do, obviously, but everything helps to bring people back. And this is a good way. It's no cost to the state to have these people essentially be ambassadors for Hawaii. Not just here, but also in Japan. So that's what the request is.
So it's on the cost though, because I think the last time it was covered that, is it ARDA gonna cover the costs? But
Yes.
this time around, I don't see anything addressing coverage of costs. Is that, did that change or?
It did not. So
Whatever cost whatever that is a blank check to get this changed?
the industry is prepared to step up, do its part to make sure that this happens. Yeah.
The staff has a question for you. Go ahead.
So, the devil is always in the details. For people in the audience who are not aware, the real estate examination is in two parts. There's a national portion and then there's a state portion. Staff as well as subject matter experts meet every year to review the statistics on each exam item, or we call them item, but it's exam questions. The ones that are performing poorly, we have to evaluate why it's performing poorly. And if we can't fix the question, then we toss it. If everyone's getting a particular question correct, then something's wrong with that question. And again, we have to evaluate. So the whole reason why we do this is to ensure that the exam is fair to everyone. It can't, it can't be biased as in terms of language, or when I say language, the way it's written. So if some person is not perceiving it correctly, we have to evaluate, is it written correctly? Is it too, if it's confusing for someone who, may misconstrue a word. So we do that because we have to prove that the exam is fair. 2, we have to get it certified. And 3, importantly, for the commission, it has to be defensible. If someone sues us and says this exam is discriminatory, we have to be able to defend it in court.
Yes.
So that's on the state portion of the exam. The national portion of the exam is done as a collaboration between PSI and the Association of Real Estate Licensed Law Officials, Orello.
Right.
So I'm not sure, we would have to not just translate the existing bank of questions, we would have to translate all the new items that we write, because laws change, we have to add questions to reflect those laws. So I'm thinking from a logistical standpoint, even if we tried to do it today, it might be a year or 2 before we can actually roll out those questions because we have to have them tested.
Yes.
And so, you know, and that's just the state portion. The national portion, I have no idea because I've never participated in the national review. So those are kind of like one of the hurdles that we have to kind of figure out how we're going to tackle that.
I totally agree with what you're saying. By the way, I wrote a lot of those questions.
So you understand?
I do understand the process because I was a question writer as a volunteer for the Real Estate Commission many years ago. I understand the procedure, I understand the concerns, I understand why some questions need to be rewritten. I understand why you have to say things in a certain way. And I understand the efficacy and the importance of being able to back up, the test and the legitimacy of the test. The industry, the ARDA, is ready to collaborate with the commission, and I think I put that in the letter to make that happen. And there's a new president at Arello now, who I spoke with in the fall, who is open to suggestion on that.
Commissioner Goodell, go ahead.
Do you happen to know what your percentage of pass-fail rates are between the state and the national? Is it quite different for the state and the national, or are they better at the national than they are at the state?
That I do not know.
Is that number available, or is it?
Speaking from experience, I think people tend to pass the national first more often than the state. They always pass the national first, and then they pass their state several times later, is what I've been hearing.
Okay, so this is so are you asking for both sets of questions to be changed over, or are you only asking for the state, which are more difficult to be changed over?
For both.
For both, okay.
Commissioner Acosta, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. You mentioned, Mr. Watanabe, that there were 13 folks in Japan. Or I think, was that the number that you gave me?
Oh, 9? Are you talking about the quality assurance managers?
I'm talking about the folks in Japan. You mentioned that people in Japan were speaking with people and then they came over here, or did I misunderstand what you were saying?
He was referencing the quality assurance staff that's here in
Oh, that is here on the island.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And they are not licensed, correct?
Yes.
And they're not talking money? Or they're not discussing any kind of remuneration in the contract?
They're talking about the purchase price and the balance due.
Okay. So I'm wondering if that falls within the licensing laws, because it's talking price. And when you have an assistant that shows property, they cannot mention price at all. They can open the doors and show the folks property, but they cannot mention sales price or terms or anything if you're not licensed.
The quality assurance managers are not licensed.
That's why I'm asking. And do they speak of price and terms? Do they go over that with the folks who are buying?
Yes.
And then they should be licensed in, is that correct? Attorneys in the room? Because you.
Salesperson.
So I'm concerned about that if they're talking price and terms, because we can't have assistants that discuss that in the real estate field, because that has to do with price and terms. I mean, you can say it has 4 bedrooms and 3 baths and, pretty curtains, but you cannot mention any price and terms without a license. So if your quality control folks are doing that, then perhaps they should be licensed as well. But again, I'm not the attorney in the room, so.
I think he misspoke. I think what the sales process, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the quality assurance managers, they are merely to interpret things. You have the sales agent right there at the table.
They're assisting with the paperwork and they're explaining in Japanese. So they're not translating.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Commissioner Acosta. I think what they're saying is the salesperson, the licensed salesperson explains everything, just somebody else just kind of saying, yes, that is correct. I don't think that person on that side is trying to make the sale.
The sale is already procured.
Yeah, right. It's just to assure quality that it's, and so, I mean, but, you know, that's the interesting thing. If you look at it, little fly on the wall is telling me, with all of this knowledge and intellect, everybody is making sense. Everybody, you know, we have concerns, but it's something that should be able to be worked out somehow, some way. If not, we all flunk. But so we have some people that obviously are slam dunk. Others have some reservations. I think from a practical standpoint, that actual testing, which, like I said, I was involved before, I don't know about it too much now, but what Miles was talking about, that is something real that from a practical standpoint is something that with collaboration or whatnot, that needs to be resolved before we can even do the next thing. I mean, I could be wrong, but, because if we cannot even get over that hurdle,
Well,
I don't know if,
it's problematic, but not impossible, I would say.
because it takes money, time, staff. I mean,
Right.
it's,
And I guess the process would be translating the English into Japanese and then translating it back into English to make sure that there's no discrepancy. But, you know, that's a logistical part that, you know, staff and the industry, I suppose, could work on to solve. But the national portion, that's out of our hands, so. Because we have no control.
Question, you know, I would suggest, you know, that we consider reaching out to facilitate that. And I think they'll be more than happy to.
Yeah, because there's probably other jurisdictions that would benefit also. New York, California.
Absolutely.
More for staff, but when you're analyzing, the committee, the education committee, when you're analyzing those questions for pass-fail type of analysis, do you have any idea what the native language are, those ones that are failing and passing on, or there's no way for you to key those in as based on language?
Information.
Commissioner Cassenter?
Oh, you know, thanks for coming, because I have this in my head that I can't let go of. To be completely transparent, I'm trying to distinguish this between a special interest business objective and a consumer protection across the board, equitable, thing. And maybe you can help me understand how it's not a special interest business objective. I mean, I think I understand the practical reasons, and I understand that it's the largest industry as far as timeshare. So maybe you can help me further clarify.
Sure, that's a great question. And by the way, what we have suggested for the Commission's consideration is that this be a pilot program. Okay. And for the reason that we haven't done this before. And the reason I suggested a pilot, or we suggested a pilot, is that we can use that time to measure, are we getting the results we want? Are we having too many complaints? And I had suggested maybe either 3 or 5 year period, and so that you have a look back, so that you can see what the experience has been and whether it's worthwhile. Now, if it turns out to be successful, you know, I would think and I'd hope, you know, that the Commission would open it up to other languages as well. And you might even consider that at an earlier point in time, maybe after a couple of years. By the way, and that would be consistent with the policy goals embedded in Chapter, I think, 431, that says you got to make stuff open to everybody who doesn't speak English. You know, whether it's Tagalog or Ilocano or, you know, Chinese or Korean. You know, I think everybody should have a fair opportunity, you know, to participate in an industry. we limited the license only because this is where the need is right now. Maybe there are other people who have needs, but we know it's acute in the timeshare industry. They need more salespeople because of the demand. And this is a driver for all of the projects. The only 2 projects in the last 15 years, 12 years that have come up in Waikiki that are brand new are the Marriott project on the old Nike Town site, which is refurbished, which is a timeshare project, and Kahaku, which is a Hilton project, which is on the old Kings Village site. There are no other new builds in Waikiki. Right, think about that. So we're talking about real stuff here, okay? The last projects that were not timeshare that came up were the Trump Tower and Ritz-Carlton, all right, within the last 12 years. But that's why there's a need for this. Sales are a driver for development activity. If you don't have that opportunity, the demand falls off, there will be no more development of this kind of product in Waikiki. So it's a very real problem. It's a real issue. And these people, thankfully, are doing a great job at selling. If they weren't, we wouldn't be here. They don't need any more sales agents because they're not selling anything. They're selling it, there's a demand. There's a consumer protection issue, and that's why we need more trained people at the table. So that's why we're here.
I don't disagree that this is a good area to start a pilot in because of the data that you can collect, because of the popular and the demand for timeshare from Japan. And I think this is probably the perfect market and area to start a pilot for data collection. I guess in the future, would ARDA or the timeshare industry here be able to be involved continuously if this program expands beyond, say it's successful in 2 years, expands beyond your company, beyond timeshare into, across all real estate sales in Hawaii. I think that I understand the pilot program. That makes total sense to me. If it's the beginning of something that you'll be committed to helping and supporting as if it moves forward.
For me, I feel it's really fundamental. We're dealing with contract law in English. And just as much as an attorney, you wouldn't get a Japanese attorney who's speaking, and then you're trying to translate English contracts. So I just have a problem with that. And I've seen those timeshare contracts. They're like regular, they're different, but they're still contract law for real estate. And there's a lot of laws that go with it. So I just feel like the consumer protection is just going to create some liabilities, maybe lawsuits. So let me finish, because I've listened to and I understand, I'm not against timeshare. I have clients that have timeshare, they own timeshare. And so, and we need more Japanese economy. I know people in the retail business and everything. So, but for the purpose, I feel like for the Real Estate Commission, it's about consumer protection, all these laws that we have to follow. And the timeshare laws do fall under these laws. This is like 514E, and there's like a whole bunch of chapters that go with it. And, I just think that even a pilot program, we're gonna stick our neck out and see what happens, and is it gonna affect our decision in allowing it? Because they're still consumers, whether they're from Japan or not. And then there'll be other languages that wanna get involved too. So just as much as any licensing, engineer, a doctor, or lawyer, there are a lot of laws that are English, and I feel if they can't pass the exam in English, then there's a deficiency there. And there's a reason for these exams, to make sure that they have qualifications that can meet the standards of conveying to their clients the contracts and interpreting it for them. But that's my standpoint. Because It's always not easy, even for me, to make sure my client understand what's in the contracts.
Commissioner Costa wanted to.
Thank you. Are you selling actual deeded weeks or are you selling points?
We do both.
Sorry, what was the question?
I asked if they were selling deeded weeks or if they were selling points. Because they're,
I need both.
We do both.
Are timeshare laws fairly consistent across the 50 states?
In terms of concept, yes.
Staff had a question besides Miles. Neil, did he also have a question that he didn't address yet? No? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I would just request that the commission keep in mind that there is a statutory directive that requires everyone, not just the real estate commission, but everyone, every commission, every governmental agency, if that's a term that's used, governmental agency, to level the playing field and make sure that, people who are not proficient in English have the same opportunity. So that is an underlying policy of the law.
I'd like to ask counsel about that, because my understanding is this would apply to the public,
Correct.
not to someone applying for a license.
If you're referring to HRS 321C1, that you had mentioned C1 and C2, so that's for access of the public to access and participate services, programs, and activities offered by the state.
Right.
So not
as a licensee application process.
Oh, no, these are deep, I would say it falls squarely within those things. Yeah. So maybe we can test it, but I don't think it's necessary. The administration of a program of work, of a test, but that's a legal issue.
Do you folks know what the pass rate is for a regular English-speaking candidate on the exam?
I don't know the exact status, but of course I handle the domestic market as well, but I would say the average is 2 to 3 times. 2 to 3 times.
2 to 3 times better?
Oh, no, they take the exam 2 to 3 times before they pass.
Oh, yeah, I guess I was asking the passing rate.
That's all I'm saying. As a
Percentage. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's not very good. Even if they speak English, so maybe we do have to offer it in pidgin, but even if they speak English, it's not very good. So we as a group have been trying to increase that because, we're trying to make real estate in general more professional. We want to eliminate all kind of problems. And so the people here are doing a good job, but it takes a village to move things, and so we're trying. So we understand what you're asking. Some of us, I can see, have some reservations or some questions that probably need support. And unless anybody else have any more questions or concerns, I'm gonna kind of move this along, or anybody have any more questions that they would want to ask? Since they got the village here. John, go ahead.
One comment and one question. I'm going to keep it short. So,
no, take your time. Take your time.
Comments. I think it was expressed that this area might have a low level of complaints, right? And so that was part of the basis for saying maybe this is a good area to test it in. And probably a large part of that is a testament to how regulated it is, and having multiple layers of people at these different levels, and that these things don't vary too much like they do in other real estate transactions. It's possible, I don't know if there's any connection, but is that because we have this in place where people are required to take it in English, and would that change and now become an area which has higher numbers of complaints? So I do see that as another reasonable, plausible explanation, but we don't know. And I think that's what you're seeing, some of the tension and in some ways that we're trying to think about this and balance it. The question, it's a softball question, and I think to take it back again to not the business case, but the consumer protection case that we're asking about, that we're asking for you to help us with, is would you say that the consumer protection mission, goal here, is better served by having more licensees who know the law, because they're able to take the test in Japanese, than not having them, and having to rely on maybe unlicensed people who are doing this, right? Is that what you're trying to say is the basis for asking it, not because of a business interest?
Absolutely, and I think we put that in writing.
I don't think that was clearly expressed. I think there was a lot in there about the business need. That's what I've heard today.
Sure, but it was in writing in the August 20th letter of 2024.
And the resolution from the legislature.
No.
I've heard today.
It was in the August 20th letter, and that's a good point. So thanks for raising it. I do feel that there is increased consumer protection, actually. Because when you're speaking with someone whose native language is Japanese, and you have a native language Japanese sales professional at the table, the communication is ramped up to me. They can speak in their own language, and it's likely that they'll understand it. So yes to that question.
And is there any concern that, we're talking about the test here, but there's all these materials that come out, continuing education. Is there any concern that they may have trouble understanding that as they come out because they can't pass the English version of the test? What would be done to address that?
I don't think, we're not asking for a change.
Well, I understand. I'm saying if they can't pass the test, is there what is being done to make sure that they understand all of these other materials that come out? The commission puts out things, all the time.
They have to do that in English. Like they do all the pre-licensing courses.
Right, and so how are we addressing that? Because that's in English. There's no, right? So how do we know that they're able to take that in and understand it if they're not able to implement it in an English test?
Well, presumably they do. Those people who are native Japanese speakers are taking CE now in English.
Right, but having passed the test in English. Yes. So maybe you have other people who are assisting them, or you have, other brokers in charge that are assisting them, helping them learn it. Right, that's the basis that you're.
That would probably be advantageous. I mean, I can see, into the future where the test is offered in all languages. If you look at the DCCA website, right on the top, they have a string of languages where you can access all the information on the website in your native tongue, whether it's Samoan or Tagalog or Japanese, Korean, Chinese, it's all there. To me, my vision is that's going to be available to everyone, no matter what language you speak, in all aspects of the program of work that the commission administers. But we're not going there right now. We're asking for this little bit to help the industry, but also to help us as people living here in Hawaii. And we're not asking forever. We're asking, be reasonable about this. Let's test this out and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, scrap it. But we gotta try. We should try.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments, questions, concerns?
Let's take it under advisement.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Love, seconded by Commissioner Acosta to take this matter under advisement. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
We just keep moving on. All right. We are on agenda item number 5. Thank you folks for your patience. Licensing and registration ratification. Commissioners, you all have a list in front of you dated June 26, 2026. Do any of you have any questions, concerns, or issues with anyone on this list in front of you?
Motion to approve real estate applications, ratifications on June 2026.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Andrews, excuse me, seconded by Commissioner Abe to approve the application list dated June 26, 2026. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 6, we have 4 license applications in front of us. I believe some of them are present in our audience. We are going to take all of these in executive session, not in public, so I do need, I am going to move to go into executive session. If I can have a second, please.
Second.
It's been moved by the Chair Yamane, seconded by Commissioner Goodell, to take applications in exec session. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Okay. And since we're going to
Mic's on and we're live.
We're live. Okay, thank you, everybody. We are back in regular session. We do need to resolve item number 6, I believe. Yeah, we do have some applications we need to address. But before we, let's do the licensing applications first. We do have, this first one is 6A. Real estate salesperson license for a Brian Emmons. We've all had an opportunity to review his application, look at his packet. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns, Commissioners? If not, could I have a motion, please? It's for Brian Emmons.
Sure, just for clarification, you're asking for a conditional approval license, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I mean, that's all right, but I figured they would.
We're, motion to issue or approval, or recommend approval for a conditional license, am I saying that correctly? For Brian Emmons, real estate application for licensing.
And could you just state for the record what the condition would be?
This is the payment plan.
Yes.
The payment plan, right?
Compliance with the payment plan.
Compliance with the payment plan, sorry. Do I need to state the payment plan?
I don't think that's necessary.
As long as he complies with it. and
Okay.
Satisfies it.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Acosta, to approve a conditional salesperson's license for Brian Emmons. Commissioner, all those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Mr. Emmons. Agenda item 6B, we have a request for preliminary decision for a salesperson's license for Jonathan Drew Albert.
Broker's license.
Excuse me, broker's license for Jonathan Drew Albert. Thank you, Mr. Commissioners, do you have any questions or concerns?
I make a motion to most likely approve license for Jonathan Drew Albert.
Second. It's been moved by Commissioner Acosta, seconded by Commissioner Kyono, to most likely approve the preliminary decision for the real estate broker's license for Jonathan Albert. Commissioners, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you. Item 6C.
I move to approve the application of Mac Robin.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Emery, seconded by Commissioner Andrews to approve the application for Mac Robin. Commissioners, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not seeing or hearing any, motion passes. Thank you very much. Agenda item 6D, Tomas Scott. Bless you. We have the, this is, he is asking us to reconsider his consideration of his conditional broker's license.
So to reaffirm the commission's decision, the prior decision.
So basically deny the request for
Well, we
reconsideration.
reconsidered it, so are we denying the request, or are we reaffirming the prior decision? It could be either, really, yeah, it's whichever is the correct
Reaffirming the
one.
prior decision.
I'd like to reaffirm.
I think it's better to say reaffirm.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Lau, seconded by Commissioner Abe to reaffirm the commission's decision on Tomas Scoff's broker's license. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
One abstention. Commissioner Emery, abstention. Motion passes. Second was we do have one other item we should go back to. This was agenda item 4B3A. 4B3A. I forgot what it is. We had I guess a request for a Japanese language exam.
Would this be the same as the statement that reaffirming the decision?
Yes.
Oh, do I need to make a motion? I'd like to make a motion that to reaffirm the commission's decision regarding the request for the real estate salesperson examination in Japanese language.
Second. Been moved by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Goodell to reaffirm the commission's earlier decision on, sorry, I couldn't hear the rest, the real estate. Japanese.
Regarding the real estate salesperson examination in Japanese language. Just reading the request. Reaffirming the commission's previous decision regarding their request.
To be denied.
Yes.
Yeah. Commissioners, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
I abstain.
abstentions?
Same here.
2 abstentions. We have Commissioner Kyono and Commissioner Emery abstaining. 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion passes. Thank you. Now we do need to go into Chapter 91 recess. We're going to go into Chapter 91. Just don't. Huh?
I think normally it's 4
Back on.
Yeah, we're back on.
Okay, so the next meeting, agenda item number 8, next meeting is on Friday, July 24th, 2026, 9 a.m., same place. I'm going to let my esteemed colleagues, since we had him do it last month.
Oh, really?
Close it out last
Oh,
month.
yeah.
So you can announce the time and you can close us out, Mr. Commissioner Love, and thank you for your service.
We'll gavel out our term at 12:25.
Get that hammer and. Meeting adjourned, thank you. You should have heard Russell that he pounded that.
Yeah, lots of aggression.